Hello, my name is Magdalena. I am a full-time TM teacher here in the Central London TM Centre. I have been practicing Transcendental Meditation for a very long time, for over 20 years, and I have been teaching TM for more than 7 years. And I have made a video with Benjamin, who is a meditator and an actor and acting coach, and we talked all about TM. Hope you enjoy it. Would you like to introduce yourself? Just tell us something about yourself.
Great. So my name is Benjamin and I work as an actor and acting coach, and I've been in this line of work for 4 years now. I studied at drama school. In 2018 I went to drama school, graduated in 2021, and I'm in this career because when I was a child, I mean, it's a sort of classic story for every actor, but when I was a child, I just sort of instinctively knew how to do it, and it got to the age of about 17 and I didn't really instinctively know how to do anything else. So it sort of seemed like a really good idea to do the thing that I was good at. And yeah, so I've been doing that since then, and it's been great. I mean, recently I started a coaching business which is helping other actors to deepen their craft. Now that I've sort of got a level of experience in the industry and working with the art form, I can sort of navigate and always had a natural ability to communicate to other people how to quite good at communicating how to understand concepts that are difficult to grasp, things that are slightly intangible. And so I've been coaching people now for about a year, and actually, you know, to quickly relate this to TM, I would say that my sessions with my clients, oftentimes I don't know what they're going to bring to any one session. Maybe it's a script, maybe it's an accent, maybe it's just talking about life and their career, and I've always got to just be ready to open up and answer anything that they might be bringing in, and to help them to achieve their dream. And the meditation, and you asked about creativity, is really just, it's that thing of sort of staying open, and a problem arises and a solution then follows. And you know, we never know, we have no prior ability to plan, but something will come, and it's that trust of the natural process, something will arrive. So it's been super helpful from that side, from a business perspective, and from a coaching perspective, it's been really, really useful. But yeah, I mean, that's not the only thing I'm interested in. I really enjoy, you know, nature and playing my guitar and cooking. Absolutely adore cooking. So reading books and watching films and plays and all sorts of things. So, you know, that's the short introduction to who I am. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
And how did you get into meditation in the first place?
Well, so when I was at drama school, and I was really struggling to deal with everything that was coming up. I was very busy, and I was trying to sort of make ends meet on this student loan, and working from 9 till 5, and meeting a whole new bunch of people who I was, you know, then living life with. I was completely overwhelmed, and I sort of actually fell into a very deep depression, to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. It was like if I'd get out of bed, I'd be nauseous, dizzy, and I couldn't really open my eyes. It was was in fully, I have to just rest, and I'd been in bed for like 3 or 4 days, just really deeply in, and this idea came to me that if I just put all my attention on my tailbone, then maybe something will happen. And I don't know why that thought came to me, but so I did that. Every time I had a thought, I'd just return to noticing how my tailbone felt, and I'd noticed that this space began to open up, a very small space where I could then get out of bed and I could, operate and move around and go and eat and da-da-da. And so then I was practicing this rudimentary form of meditation just all the time, constantly, like even while I was walking around in my day. But again, there was no structure to it, and it wasn't as straightforward and effortless and sort of 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. It was just this sort of random sense of always bringing the mind back to this thing, and it was then, but that was probably as doing that or something along the lines of that for a good 5 years before even learning about TM, and then hearing about TM and going, right, this sounds like I need a teacher, and a teacher to sort of guide me and to answer these questions that I have, and to streamline the process as well. So, and then since then, morning and evening, and then you just feel the benefits. You don't need to be constantly focusing on it 24/7 all the time. The benefits are just arising effortlessly. Yeah.
Well, first of all, how did you get into TM?
Well, I got into TM just over a year ago because I was on Instagram actually, and I saw an advert for a taster session, I think, that you were running online, and I was looking for something at that point to help me deal with. I was at that time I was in Wales on a business trip for 3 days, and I was in my hotel and I was feeling very isolated, and I thought it was just the right moment. So I thought, that sounds good, I'll go to that. And it was the next day or 2 days time, so I took the call from my hotel room, and I just wasn't in the best place. But I remember watching your talk, and specifically there was this one clip you showed of a woman who had these electrodes on. She was on stage and they were monitoring her brain when she was just thinking normally, and then when she was practicing TM, and seeing firsthand the difference in her brain activity. And I thought, that's exactly what I need. And so it was maybe a month after that, I came down to this room and I learned how to meditate, practice TM. That's how I got into it. But I had already been meditating previously, just not doing any specific type of meditation. This was my first experience with formalized practice. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you found that inspiring.
Yeah, it was very inspiring. Yeah.
And how did you find TM worked for you?
Well, yeah, initially I felt very tired, which I'm told is a really can be quite a common experience. The first weekend of practicing, it was like all of my tiredness was just coming forward and I was exhausted. But then after practicing for a week or so, it was like I had this sense of clarity, is all I can describe. It was just that it wasn't that necessarily anything massively changed in my life, but that there was a sense of ease about everything. So if thoughts came, then I'd just be with them, and they'd go, even when I was not practicing meditation. So, and the energy picked up as well. So I can only describe it as an all-around boost. It's like a boost for every part of life, every single thing. Yeah.
And what was the course like when you learned?
Well, I had a different teacher. I learnt with Jonathan Leslie, and it was fantastic. I arrived and he sort of took me through a initiation where I was given my mantra, and it was very straightforward, just very straightforward introduction, almost like sort of practices that I'd done before, but with this real emphasis on effortlessness. And so it was in this room. He sort of coached me into it, and then he said, right, I'm going to leave you here for 20 minutes or so. and he went to then initiate somebody else, and I was 20 minutes later he returned, and I practiced my first Transcendental Meditation session. And it was, I think, because I was also excited, but I just went very deep very quickly. Actually, was my experience. That first time just went very deep, almost immediately, and yes, and then came out of it sort of feeling a bit more glowy at first experience, and then I think I came back the next day and maybe the day after as well for sort of check-ins, and I had lots of questions, and he was super helpful. Very straightforward questions, about like, if I get an itch on my ear, am I allowed to itch, or do I have to sit and sort of wait for the itch to go? And he was very clear, just itch. It's just the easy one. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And lots of other questions like that. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
Did you find easy to find the place and the time for the meditation?
Yes and no, and then yes again. So initially I had the sort of beginner's zealot. I was like, right, I'm going to be able to do this morning and evening, and I'll make space and time for it. And then after maybe 2 or 3 months, things in my life started to get busier. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe just today I'll do once a day, and then I'll pick up. And then I'll notice some days I'm not doing it at all. And then I'm doing once a day, and then twice a day. So it became very sporadic. And it was then about, I think it was, well, I came to your booster actually in October of last year, and that was a sort of a reset, and I was sort of back on twice regularly. And then I went on retreat in January, the New Year's retreat at the Peace Palace in Rendlesham, and that experience of sort of all those series of roundings made me just want to do it twice a day, and I've been pretty consistently twice a day since then. But there's something that Maharishi said which was about, you will always make time to eat, and you'll always make time to work, but most importantly make time for meditation. And I think that's now sort of my go-to way of thinking about it. Just always make time for meditation. It's the most important thing. Yeah.
You mentioned that you tried other meditations before. How did you find that experience, and how do you compare TM to that?
Well, I think TM, the focus is on the effortlessness. And sometimes when I speak to people about meditation, even now, and they don't practice TM, there's a conception that it's all about, you have to stay focused, you must. And there's this inner tension there, this tension, and it's like, stay on it. And then this punishment, this self-punishment, if I stray from whatever it is, the mantra or the breath or however we might be practicing. And that's the main difference with TM, is that, thoughts coming is all right, it's part of it. and you can go through the thoughts and then return to the mantra, and it's effortless. It's just effortless, and you never have that inner tension going on that's can be so off-putting for a lot of people practicing meditation. I think that another difference is that TM is usually 20 minutes twice a day, and I think sometimes if I don't have 20 minutes, I will practice just following my breath, like a sort of mindfulness thing, because if I've only got 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. But because of TM, I now follow my breath with effortlessness. So I can take that element of it and apply it to a different, more sort of quick meditation that I've got to do if I've only got 5 minutes on the bus or something like that, yeah.
How do you find your own TM experience?
It feels different every time. For me. Sometimes it can be, there can be frustration that comes up. And sometimes there can just be bliss. And I think you get the full experience of your human capacity during TM. So, on the whole, then it's a net positive experience. When I look at my life now with TM and when I look at it before, there's a stark contrast. I'm so much happier and I'm so much freer and just more everything is more serendipitous, really, even. But I've gone through periods of practicing TM where I'm not transcending over and over and over again for maybe a month at a time, and every time I sit down and I've just got thoughts and thoughts and thoughts, and I've gone back to my teacher Jonathan and I've said, what's going on here? And he very sagaciously reminds me that it's all just the physiology is tired, or there's stress coming out, and that not every experience needs to be fully transcendent. And he talks about there's got this very common thing of if you're driving to Trafalgar Square but you're starting in Newcastle, and you can't keep asking why aren't I there yet, because you're just on the road traveling to Trafalgar Square. And that's what TM is doing. It's taking you towards the universal consciousness, but even if you're still on the road, you're heading in the right direction. So that's always something that if I haven't transcended for a few days or a few weeks even, it's like practice itself is the most important thing.
That's a good description.
Yeah. It's Jonathan's description.
It's great.
Yeah.
And how does it feel like to transcend?
It's very difficult to describe, isn't it? I become aware of it afterwards, is how I feel like when I come back, when I sort of become more aware of my body again, then I go, that felt great. And it's this feeling of, just like, I don't really even notice when I've transcended. I just become aware that I've come back. And I've heard people describe it as almost like a drop into something, but I've never experienced it to feel that way. I've always experienced this sort of sense of re-emerging with like just a real, like every cell in my body is just relaxed and just happy and free, and so and just this sense of a glow about things. And then I sort of finish that meditation, if it's been a very sort of very deep meditation and like that, I'll finish and I go, I can't wait to do that again. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to describe though. I mean, yes, I think obviously there's the obvious parts, which is, you know, there's cessation of thoughts, and you know, I lose, it's not that I lose awareness of my body, but it's just that I'm not so focused on it. So I'll sort of hear noises, but it's like I don't identify them as, oh, that's the sound of the birds or of a police car or whatever it might be. It's just that, you know, yeah, and it's yeah, brilliant, and yeah, it's something about how easy it is to get there as well. When it is, you know, it's the natural tendency of the mind to want more and more things in life, and everyone's aware of that, you know, and then just how your mind naturally wants more peace, and it naturally goes in that direction, and that's still remarkable to me. You know, it's how straightforward it is. Yeah, it's brilliant, but again, I'm sort of lost for words answering that question. I just have to talk around it. I can't really name the thing itself. Yeah.
The conscious mind almost doesn't go there.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Totally.
And how do you feel after the meditation?
I always feel like something has shifted. So if I'm working hard during my week, I get home and I do my meditation, then I enter a different relationship with my work, and I'm kind of more fluid. It's like the work is happening, it's taking care of itself, ideas come to me and things click into place. I a lot of the time as I work as a performer, and meditation before going on stage, for example, there's this sense of fluidity with which you're then performing, which when you are using your mind, I feel, my other actors feel, and I think the audience feel, there's some kind of, it's somehow more manufactured and less real, but with this sense of flow that you can attain afterwards, everything seems got sort of spontaneity to it, and it's very alive, and almost no one quite knows what's coming next, and that's the most exciting part. That's how it helps me with my creative work. But then if I just sort of, you know, if it's the weekend and everything's quite relaxed, often I just feel very calm and able to breathe deeply, and, you know, enjoy things, and just enjoy being human, you know, enjoy how it feels to take a deep breath, and appreciating food and greater value on things in life, you know, all those things that I think we strive so hard for. As long as you have a regular practice, it's like they just arrive naturally, and that's the amazing thing about it. Yeah.
I like, as you say, I just enjoy being.
Yes, exactly.
And do you find you have become a little bit more creative, or maybe different after intuitive as a result of your meditation?
I think so. The main thing is I've become more happy. That's the big difference. Is I was very depressed, and actually I'm like, life has completely changed in 1 year. When I look back on 1 year ago, wow, like massive difference in terms of my overall enjoyment of life. Creativity, yes, I've got better at solving problems. Sometimes the meditation will help me solve the problems itself, that an idea will arrive during a meditation, and it's like it'll click into place, and I'll go, oh, fantastic. Then I'll finish the meditation, and then I'll come out of it, and then I've got the answer. It's like it arrived. And I think, you know, I work as an artist, but my art form is what's the word I'm looking for? Bear with me 1 second. It begins with I.
In tune, intuitive.
That's the word I'm thinking of, and it's not that word. It doesn't matter. I'll think of a different word. So yeah, I work as an artist, and although my art is not creative, it's an interpretive art form. So I don't necessarily have to make anything happen to do the work that I do. I just read the words on the page, and then I let them embed into me, and then I'll just react using that script. And so what the difference is that not that I've necessarily become more creative, but I would say that there is a depth in the work where I feel more deeper connected to the moment, my other actor, myself, and that the words are being spoken from a deeper, more connected place. So yes, as an actor, I would say meditation for me is now part of my daily routine, because if I'm in touch with it, if I'm in touch with the place of universal consciousness, I'm speaking, more from that place, and more people in the audience are able to, on some level, connect to it. But if I'm up here, then something is disconnected, and it doesn't work as well. It just doesn't translate as well as an art form. Yeah.
Wow, that's hugely profound. And what would you say to a friend who is hesitating to learn TM?
I've said this to many friends already. I'm always trying to get people to try TM. I would just say, it feels to me like it's the gold standard of meditation, and people, myself included, we're all trying to meditate more. There's this whole mindfulness and meditation. It's all sort of left, right and center at the moment. There's lots of push towards it in different areas, and lots of times people are going, I like meditation, but I'm not sure about this and that, and or I don't find the time, or whatever it is. And that's when I go, have you tried TM? Because it's such a different thing, rather than 10 minutes sort of guided talking through a body scan. It's more just, it's that thing of it's completely effortless, and you're sort of guaranteed benefits, and you want to do it. Just try it once and you want to do it again. And then there's also a community, which I think a lot of people might benefit from. If you're trying to meditate, you're thinking, I must meditate before work. So you open an app and you listen to somebody talk you through it, and then you go off to work. Maybe in 8 days' time, you've forgotten about that. But with the whole community of TM, you're always being reached out to by TMs and TM centers, and there's always this event happening, or that retreat to go to, or people creating their own little sort of communities as offshoots to that they can discuss, and that just keeps you motivated. You're doing it with other people who know exactly what you're doing, and oftentimes you're doing it at the same time. So it's that aspect of it. I think just it makes it a part of who you are. You are a meditator, and it's not, when I remember, it's like, no, this is I'm part of this club, and we all know how it is, and that's you can talk about it, and yeah, it's a brilliant thing.
You mentioned it a few times that you meditated in a group. How does it feel like meditating in a group with other people? Is it different?
Oh, yeah, it's so good. I mean, it's just the best, you know. It's just there's something about it. I'm not sure quite how it all works on a physiological level, but when you're in a room with even just 3 other people, all the way up to 30 other people or more, it's like my mind just sort of just goes straight in. It's like the gradient down which I transcend is steeper, so much steeper, and I just sort of I'm in, and like it's just, you know, it's blissful. It is usually just I don't know how it works. It's just with a group when we're all practicing at the same time. There's like a collective pull into this thing where we just sort of all transcend for the most part, you know, and you know, and often when I'm, because there's not group things happening every single day, but there is online, but when if I'm doing it on my own, I think I make, you know, I'm always glad that I've meditated, but often, you know, I'll sort of come in and out and in and out, and there'll be more thoughts sort of moving around, and, you know, my awareness is slightly more scattered about this and that, but in a group it's just like, you know, you're anchored into this thing and you're locked in, and it's just, you know, it's just so, you know, you just feel wide awake. It's wonderful. Yeah.
And if you can sum up your entire experience with TM in less than 5 words, what would it be? Maybe 5 sentences?
I'm distilling down. I'm eternally grateful, and I'll leave it at that. It's sort of, I'm eternally grateful that I've done this for myself. Yeah, I'm really glad that I've made that commitment. Yeah.
Profound.
Yeah.
Was what you paid for TM worth it, and how have you got a return on your investment?
I think yes, because I use it every day. You know, I meditate every day. Can you put a price on happiness? You know, can you put a price on freedom, creativity? You know, these things are just invaluable, and to pay to learn how to naturally have these things in your life with a really simple set of techniques, I would say absolutely it's worth it, because, you know, you can't really compare. My life before was so different, so absolutely the return on investment has been you know, profound. And to think I'm still 26, I've got so many years to practice with this technique, that when I look back in 40 years or however long, I'm going, you know, and I went for one induction and now I've got this thing that's with me for life. You know, I'd say it's a small fee for a lifetime of freedom. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you. There's something that actually I'd quite like to ask you, because I've been coming to boosters now for about half a year or so, and I'm really excited to come to the next one. So do you have any information on when I might be able to sign up for that, or when it might be?
That's a very good question. Thank you. Well, I'm not sure about the next date just yet because it's exciting times for us. We are relocating to a new TM center, and it's going to be a super wonderful building. And maybe the booster will be there, and we will be moving to there and meet there. It's going to be sometime in the autumn, some point in September. I can say that for sure.
Perfect, great. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. I do want to ask a question actually. Yes,
Oh,
about.
but I'm not good at talking. I'm
But
not
it's
a very
okay.
talkative person.
You've been great answering my questions in boosters, so maybe you can answer my question.
About TM.
Yeah, so I wanted to know a bit more about two things actually, about the advanced techniques and about your experiences as a TM teacher. Because I'm very interested in learning the advanced techniques, and I probably will learn them in the next sort of 12 months or so. And also, then I suppose, becoming a TM teacher, how did you fall into that, and what's the lifestyle like, and how's it working for you, all this sort of things?
So, first of all, about advanced techniques, Maharshi says they are a little bit of addition to your current practice, and they are really worth doing. You learn these in a sequence, and the first technique is the night technique, and people quite enjoy that. During the night technique, we bring the benefits of the meditation and we integrate that into our sleep and dream state of consciousness, so that that awareness is there with us when we are sleeping. And then there's more, of course, there are 3 more, and they just open a whole new horizon. You feel very, very different, and they are highly recommended. So definitely,
Fantastic,
just
yeah.
do that. And then after that, the city program is when you just learn to operate from that level of just that transcendence that's just very, very profound. And as a teacher, I think it's just a beautiful way of life to be able to have people, and just like you said, that you never know what your clients bring. When you're a teacher, you don't know what the other person is going to bring, and how you can help the person to just release the stresses, something that the person is stuck with, and to have them experience the benefits and get their life better, or be better at life. That's a better way of explaining it. And the huge plus is that you go within when you train as a TM teacher, and you do an intense course for about 6 months or so, and you go away, you meditate with the other teachers, you watch a lot of videos with Maharishi, you immerse yourself in profound knowledge, and it's just beautiful, really.
It sounds beautiful. Yeah. Thank you very much for answering. Yeah.
Thank you.